Every single day, we're building this other version of ourselves online. It's this huge, detailed picture made of posts, photos, and even our private DMs. It's like a second life, a digital self. But have you ever really stopped to think about what happens to that life after your physical one ends? Well, today we're going to explore those echoes we leave behind and who really gets to decide what they say about us.
So, let's dive right in, because in a world where our lives are just so tangled up with the internet, this isn't some philosophical question anymore. No, it's become a very real, very practical problem that millions of families are facing every single year.
Just think about it for a second. Physical memories, they can fade, right? But our digital lives, they have this surprising, almost stubborn permanence. Every single post, every click, every message, it all builds an identity that can easily outlast us. And once that information is out there, it gets copied and stored on who knows how many servers and archives. Hitting delete doesn't always mean it's gone for good.
And that really gets to the heart of this whole paradox. As one Reddit user put it so perfectly, the very stuff we might want to just vanish has a weird way of sticking around, while the things we actually treasure can feel incredibly fragile. And this digital footprint isn't just sitting there passively. It has real-world power. Get this, a study by Aura found that a staggering 88% of hiring managers would consider firing an employee over their social media content. That's how much weight our digital identity carries while we're alive. So just imagine the implications when we're no longer around to manage it.
So here's the really crucial point. If our data is going to outlive us, what happens to it when we're not in control anymore? This is where things get really complicated and, honestly, often pretty painful for the people we leave behind. See, without a plan, these digital legacies are just vulnerable. This story from a Reddit user is a heartbreakingly common example. An unmanaged account can get hacked, and suddenly a place of remembrance turns into a source of real distress for friends and family.
Then you have the other side of the coin. Some families keep profiles active, posting comments and updates as if the person were still with them. And while that might be a way of grieving for some, for others, seeing a deceased loved one's name pop up in their feed can be a really jarring and constant reminder of their loss.
All of this has led to the pretty stark realization that this comment captures perfectly. Our social media platforms are basically turning into massive digital cemeteries. By some estimates, Facebook already has tens of millions of profiles that belong to deceased users. It's becoming this huge, unplanned archive of human life and memory.
So, at the end of the day, the burden just falls on grieving family members. They're the ones forced to navigate these complex, often confusing platform policies, making educated guesses about what their loved one would have wanted. It just adds this layer of digital paperwork to an already overwhelming time.
But here's the thing, it doesn't have to be this chaotic. The solution is all about shifting from being reactive to being proactive. So let's look at how you can actually take control of your digital estate just like you would with your physical one.
Taking control of your digital legacy really boils down to these 4 key steps, kind of like a traditional will. First, you just make a list of your digital life. And trust me, it's probably bigger than you think, from social media and email to cloud storage, even crypto wallets. Then, for each of those things, you decide, should it be passed on, preserved as a memorial, or just deleted forever?
Now, a huge piece of this plan is appointing what's called a digital executor. You can think of this person as the steward of your online identity. It's someone you legally name to carry out all your wishes for your digital stuff after you're gone.
And this part is so important. This person needs clear legal authority to act for you. They can handle everything from memorializing your Facebook profile to transferring valuable digital property like crypto or website domains. Without that legal designation, they could just be locked out by privacy laws and all those terms of service agreements.
And the tech companies themselves are slowly but surely starting to catch on. Services like Apple's Legacy Contact are a really good step in the right direction. They create a built-in way to grant access to a trusted person without you ever having to share your passwords directly.
Okay, but managing the data we've already created, that's just one piece of the puzzle. The future of our digital selves is getting way more complex, and it's being shaped by one thing: artificial intelligence.
This slide really highlights the 2 big paths that are opening up here. On one side, you've got grief bots. These are AIs built from a deceased person's data, all their emails, texts, social posts, and they're designed to chat with the living to offer a sense of connection. On the other side, you have digital doppelgangers. These are functional AI clones made while someone is still alive, designed to replicate their personality and even help them with their work. One is about memory, the other is about continuation.
I mean, these new technologies are pushing us into completely uncharted ethical territory. When you make an AI version of yourself, who owns it? What happens to it after you die? Can it just keep learning and evolving on its own? We're only just beginning to even ask these massive questions.
And this comment from Reddit just cuts right to the philosophical heart of it all. Is uploading your mind really immortality, or is it just creating a very, very sophisticated clone? The you that's listening to me right now, your consciousness, that's still going to be gone. What's left is just an echo, a digital ghost that thinks it's you. And for some people, that might be a comfort. For others, that's a deeply unsettling thought.
Ultimately, as we create these more and more realistic digital echoes, we have to confront what it truly means to be remembered, and more importantly, what it means to be alive. The technology is evolving at an incredible pace, but the human questions of legacy, loss, and identity, well, those remain as timeless as ever.